Yeah, hi folks. My name is Greg. I'm from Lido and I work as data engineer. So basically what I'm trying to do in Lido is recreate Dune in networks where Dune isn't presented yet. And also here today my co-author, Irina Katunina. She's head of Lido analytic team and basically the first analyst at Lido. So what Lido is? Lido is a liquid staking protocol. We operating in 5 different blockchains. And currently we have about 30% of all staked ETH with a total value locked about $7.6 billion. And today I'm going to present you how Lido team creates analytic on Dune, also some results of Dune API testing, and some conclusions. So let's start. Well, currently, Lido has been working with Dune for more than 20 months. During that time, we created a lot of queries, more than 500, and also 17 beautiful dashboards. But then it all started. Our analytic derived from community members, and here you can see the very first dashboard, which was created with widgets from Vasily Shapovalov, Anton Bukov, and LS Simas. And despite this dashboard provide like pretty comprehensive picture, demand for analytics rises with Lido growth. So in March 2021, the Lido analytic team was created. And currently what we do is creating different simulations and models of blockchain networks and DeFi protocols in order to provide data insights. We perform monitoring analytics, product analytics, system analytics, and recently we added also web analytics to our backlog. And for all these analytics, we need like a really wide range of data sources. And if Lido uses like conventional data engineering approaches, it would require a whole team of data engineers. So what we decided is to use third-party solutions where it's possible. So for us, Dune becomes such a solution on Ethereum and recently on Polygon. So what do we have? Oh, yeah, it's changed. Great. So our dashboards could be divided into several groups. We got like high-level analytics with general metrics of Lido on Ethereum. Also for our key lending and liquidity pools, we got separate dashboards. And also we got several special dashboards, including like LDO incentives, behavioral pattern analysis, and deposits to Beacon Chain. And here you could scan like our recently released blog post with all our dashboards with detailed descriptions and links. So yeah, feel free to check them. And also don't check only them, also check like all dashboards from community members, because Dune community members does a really great job. And also, here's basically all about our analytic team. And next, I would describe like Dune API, how we work with it, and all that stuff. So you probably already know that Dune API allows you to execute and retrieve execution data directly from the code. And we've tested it for 1 month in 3 different use cases. So here's the link to stream it up. Yeah, also need to disclaimer here that we do not provide you with some libraries or modules. Here's the direct solutions of Lido-specific tasks. And I just created like a snapshot of this solution in order for you to also check them. So first use case is related to Aave liquidations. Aave is a liquid staking protocol. There you could use STETH as a collateral. And in some circumstances, this collateralized STETH might be liquidated. And we really would like to know which wallets are close to liquidation. In order to solve this task, you need to get list of all wallets which use STETH as a collateral. And in order to do this, if you do it on-chain with just Web3, you have to pass through all deposit and transfer events, save all events with STETH. After that, calculate balances like from through transactions and save it somewhere. And was really like time and execution consuming. We also tried different data providers, but we face many data bugs and incompleteness. So we basically always return to on-chain solution with that large amount of executions. But with Dune API, we solve it pretty fast. We just create simple query and download it, and that's all. So yeah, and here I could show you the result of it. We especially give you like whole code so you could read through it. And this deep node and all these graphs are made with Dune API data. So basically, you could find even functions which download needed data from Dune API, but API key is hidden because we don't want to spoil it. Yeah. So yeah, for our liquidation, that's all. Thanks to Dune API, we could track all the needed data about our collateralized Steve. Second case is related to retention analysis. Due to peculiarities of like retention metrics, we could calculate it only for current day, but we wanted to know like dynamics of retention to understand if users are come to us or they dormant. And we basically don't have any solution how to calculate it in dynamics, but Dune API provides us with some solution. And in order to explain this solution, I need to dive deeply into how exactly Dune API works. 1 second, sorry. So you don't just pass query and get the result. Instead, the flow is following. You post query and get execution ID. After that, you check the status of execution. And once status is like executed successfully, you could download needed data and use it. Interesting part here is that knowing execution ID, you could download data anytime you wanted. So that's how we create a decision. We just make a small dictionary with date execution ID, and that was all. And basically, here you can see the result. So if I need retention metrics for this date, I just get retention snapshots. And I hope everything would run. Yeah, and get all needed data. So these data are not like hard-coded. It's all get from Dune API. So also I could get data for another date. And it's still, yeah, it's running, but still we get results with the graphs. So hooray, everything works. And the last use case, second. Oh, I'm in loading. Yeah, so the last use case is related to cross-chain analytics. Since Lido presented in 5 different chains, we wanted to know like general metrics in order to understand how it operates, what happened in different blockchains. But there are several challenges which you need to accomplish before creating cross-chain analytics. For us, these challenges was, firstly, you got 5 different blockchains, each with its own like passing parameter methods, different queries, different data structures. This info should be updated like on daily basis, and this is require complicated data engineering. And this data engineering entails infrastructure and pipeline maintenance. So yeah, we make like semi-automated scripts, but this was still like pretty bad for proper cross-chain analysis. And with Dune, we solved this task for 3 out of 5 blockchains. And yes, I will return. So here you could see, for example, a graph of all depositors among all Lido's blockchain. And also you could play with it like display only, for example, Polkadot, or make some sizes, all that stuff, and also even download as PNG. So please feel free to play with all these graphs. Yeah, and we use here Dune API for Polygon, Solana, and Ethereum. And for Polkadot and Kusama, we use our own decision made on Prometheus. But hope someday we will use only Dune for this task, because with Dune it's really simple. You just make one API call. Yeah, and to sum up all of this, if you're a data analyst who don't want to mess with processing in data engineering, the Dune API could be really beneficial, because you don't have to read through documentation in order to understand how to pass parameter properly. Bothering with storing data or spend hours in cleaning and checking for errors. All you do is just create simple API call and go straight to data analytics. And also we got several suggestions to Dune. The first suggestion is to create like update execution method, which allows for queries which take a really lot of time to run at the first time, but after first run, this query could be updated like with several rows in order to not re-execute it every time, because especially for Solana, there are a lot of efforts and I suppose computational on Dune side for even, I don't know, for 1 week, because Solana produce enormous amounts of data, and also download query method for just basically fetching data from Dune frontend, because once again, there are a lot of queries which are already executed, so you might just take this data and use it. Yeah, and that's all from my part. I could go to maybe Streamlit, and if you have any questions, please ask them. And also, yeah, here you could see all the links to all the blog posts and more info about how, and when you should use it. Yeah, so that's all.